Nice. Hi, Will. So, how's it going? How's your Thanksgiving break?
It was good. I was in Mexico.
Oh, no way. What were you in Mexico for?
The company I work for, we have an incentive trip, and so I actually won it this year and got to go.
Nice. That sounds like a lot of fun. Very cool. Yeah, I actually got to go back to Thanksgiving, or back home to St. Louis for Thanksgiving. So
Really? How was that?
It was a lot of fun. Got to see my family and everything. But now, speaking of Mexico, I did hear that you had a little situation down there with a couple of girls. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, it kind of deals with your relationship that I'm in kind of right now. I mean, have I told you about Hannah yet?
A little bit about her, but please refresh me about it.
Well, I mean, we've kind of been talking back and forth for the
Okay.
past, 3 months, and we're kind of in, an open relationship.
Gotcha.
Because I may have mentioned that she actually is moving to Australia, and she's going to live there for good in January.
Oh, wow.
And, I'm obviously going to be working in Louisiana, every summer. And so we're kind of going to be separated. So we kind of got to the conclusion, that it should be an open relationship.
Right.
But then I went to Mexico. And she kind of told me, hey, well, I mean, if you make out with anybody, it's no big deal. Just don't let me know about it. So the one person that I end up making out with is actually Hannah's best friend, Riley. Because remember, Hannah had done some internship.
So, yeah, right. So Hannah didn't want to know about it, period.
Yeah.
And then, so she was like, hey, don't tell me. If it happens, it's okay. And then it happened to be her best friend. So now what happened from there?
Well, then Riley decided, kind of on her own, that she was just going to tell Hannah, and I planned on telling her anyway because it was her best friend. At least I thought that was the best possibility of me making out with somebody. Was for some reason I thought, her being a friend of hers, she kind of knew her. But
apparently it wasn't that way.
not at all. I mean, I got back and we hung out and she was crying and she was pretty frustrated that I hadn't said anything to her, but I mean she told me not to tell her anything.
Right.
So I don't know if that's just because whenever she told me it was just kind of a test. She was testing me. Or it was because of the fact that it was one of her best friends.
Her best friends. So what it sounds like is, so she was, because Riley had gotten back from Mexico earlier and had told her first, before you even really had an opportunity to tell her.
I could.
Is that right?
My phone was off and I didn't have connection to the internet.
Right.
The whole time, so I wasn't going to be able to tell her.
Right. That's understandable. So then when you got back, she was mad at you.
Yeah,
right? She was mad at you because Riley had told her what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. So
she didn't really specify specifically what she was mad at. She just was frustrated.
Right.
And she just needed some time to herself, and she cried.
Gotcha. So have you had a chance to talk to her, to sit down with her, to explain what happened?
I've tried.
Okay.
I've tried to reach out to her, but she's just not answering my phone calls or anything like that.
Now, she lives in Columbia, right? Okay, and that's where you graduated from.
Yeah, and I still live here.
And you still live there. Okay, so have you had a chance to sit down with her and talk with her yet, and just see what's going on?
I mean, the first time whenever I told her.
Just the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
And now she's not responding.
I mean, I actually haven't had a chance to call her yet. I've just been sending her texts.
Okay.
So yeah.
Gotcha. So, okay, so that makes it a little bit harder too to respond, and I don't know, maybe she's just being a little bit stubborn. Now, as far as Riley goes, have you had a chance to talk to her yet, or?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. She kind of was giving me some advice on the situation, but she's not really talking to Hannah right now either. Riley's kind of.
Okay, they're mad at each other too.
Yeah, I guess.
Gotcha.
And so I had a chance to talk to her about it, and I was kind of mad because she went off and told Hannah.
Yeah.
Before me.
Okay, and had you guys talked previously to say, hey, let's not tell her, or hey, let me say something first, you being in the situation that you're in?
I guess we hadn't really had a chance to really talk about it.
Okay.
And so she just didn't know what I was going to say
right.
at all.
Right. So she probably assumed the worst
Yeah, I
and
guess
thought,
so.
oh, Will, you're not gonna tell Hannah, so I'm gonna tell her.
How would she feel that way though?
I don't know.
I mean, I've always had a good relationship with her.
You guys have
As-
been close.
as friends, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's a shame then. So, at least you've talked with them. So, I mean, why do you think you did that with Riley in the first place in Mexico? Like, what kind of brought that on?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Just kind of an irresponsible kind of moment.
See, that's what I thought at first, but the more and more and more and more I've thought about it, I've just gotten more and more frustrated. It's almost like I did it because I don't know. I guess I care about Hannah, and I don't know what to do.
Sure.
And so that was kind of a way of me kind of like acting out and like, I guess showing her. I don't know, and just getting her attention.
Right, because you like her. Because you like Hannah. Is that right?
I guess so.
Just a way of trying to get her attention.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really talked about that. I hadn't really thought about it, but I guess that makes sense.
Right. It wasn't a way to get Riley at all. I mean, do you have feelings for Riley? Do you think that that's something that would continue, or was that just a fling?
Well, it's funny because she had asked me about Hannah.
Okay.
And
when you guys were in Mexico.
Yeah. And she was asking me like how well was going and all that, and I was telling her it was going great, we had good conversations about kind of how I was feeling with Hannah, and then, we started drinking, of course, because that's kind of what you do on these incentive trips.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And it just, I don't know, one drink led to another, and then that's kind of when something happened. And, we made out a little bit. And like after it ended, we just
didn't really talk about it.
No, not for a little while. But we eventually, we did talk about it later. And it was kind of nonchalantly brought up, and I guess, I don't know, I didn't really want to talk about it then either.
Sure.
So I guess it was just kind of a thought process that it wasn't going to get talked about. We were just going to kind of
brush under the table.
From what I got with her, I wanted to tell Hannah, like I was going to tell her.
Right. Now, as far as Hannah goes, she's going to be moving to Australia in a month. What are you guys thinking? Are you wanting to take the next step to find the relationship? Or are you thinking, hey, that's going to be a long distance kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that even in the future?
I don't know. Whenever we first started talking or dating or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
We kind of went into it thinking like, hey, well, this is just kind of a fling for right now for what we got.
Right.
And then it kind of started being more and more and more and more than that. But I guess we just never talked about that.
Right.
We never really defined what we were.
Gotcha. So at this point, are you, with a month left, are you wanting to make it some kind of long distance?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I guess I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Wouldn't be opposed to it. Have you ever been in any kind of long distance relationship?
No.
Do you know if she has it all either?
I don't think so. So we both haven't really done the situation. We just haven't brought it up.
Sure.
I
We
don't know,
haven't
do you think
really
I
needed
should?
to.
Do you think I should?
If that's something that you think that you'd be able to handle, you'd be, a long plane ride away. How often would you even be able to visit her in Australia? Would that be feasible with?
I don't know. With my job right now, it's kind of hard.
Right. Doesn't give you a lot of free time to travel.
No. I guess, I could probably set it up where I could at least see her like once.
Sure.
And if she was into the whole thing, she might be able to fly back here at least once. So that's like 2 times we'd be able to see each other. But that's only for temporary,
right.
Right?
Right. Absolutely. Now, is she going to be working in Australia?
Yeah. She's got a job down there.
She already has a job set up, and she's looking to move there permanently.
Right.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Long-term thinking, of course, way down the road, is that even something that you'd be able to do?
For me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whew, that's a long way down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could. Wow. Never really thought of it like that.
Sure. Which is understandable. I mean, you guys haven't really even defined anything. You haven't taken the next step. I mean, and if you guys do, is that even going to be okay with Riley as the friend, as the, you know, the outside person?
I don't think there's really a thing there, and I don't think she thinks there is either.
It was just kind of a mistake, a drunken, it happened.
That's kind of why I thought she wasn't going to say anything.
Right. And is Hannah going to be okay with this? Is she going to...
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I guess she could be. But I still haven't had a chance because I've just been sending her texts and she doesn't respond to those. Like,
Sure.
what should I do?
Now, how long has this been?
Like 3 days.
3 days.
Like, should I call her? Should I just go over there? Like,
Right. Well, when's the next time you're going to be in Missouri?
next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe, you know, setting up like a lunch or a brunch or coffee or something along those lines where you're able to sit down and kind of discuss what happened and, you know, really explain yourself to be able to let her know, like, hey, like, you know, one thing led to another, it happened, you know, you said that it was an open relationship, I thought that it would be okay. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to do it with one of your good friends, but that's, you know, kind of what happened. From here, where do we go? Do we want to keep talking? Are we going to try and make this a relationship into I mean, maybe not even bring any of that up, but just, you know, where do we want to go from here? Is this something, do we want to keep talking and just see where it leads and we both have Skype and...
Is that one of those define the relationship talks?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be what it is after, you know, 3 or 4 months of you guys talking.
Yeah, so I guess what you're saying is that I should just meet up with her, just call her.
Yeah.
I don't know, so not text anymore.
Probably no more texting. That's not the best way to get a hold of people. Give her a call and, yeah, set up a time to talk and define the relationship and talk about what happened in Mexico. See if it's something that's going to affect you guys in the, you know, the short term and take it one step at a time.
It isn't so much longer, but
No.
So you think I should mention the fact that I'd be okay with, you know, her living there?
With her living in Australia.
And making it happen, just trying to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause, I mean, that's how she's acted, you know. We just really haven't figured out. Like, we just haven't talked about it.
Yeah, if it's worth it or...
Because I feel like that's how she feels too. We just haven't said anything.
Sure.
Oh man.
Absolutely. Well,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, you'll have to keep us updated on what happens within the, you know, next week or so.
Yeah, I guess I'll let you know in a week.
Going down to Missouri to visit her. So I really appreciate you talking about this with me, and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, no, that's a ton of help. I appreciate it. Man.
Absolutely. Have a good one, Will.
Hey, high five. I'll see you later.